A bill designed to protect newborns against infanticide defeated on the Senate floor last night. Senate Democrats blocked the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act, which would have required doctors to treat infants that were born after failed abortions. Melissa Ohden is an abortion survivor herself and the founder of the Abortion Survivors Network, and she joins us now. Good to see you again, Melissa. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Ainsley.
You are here today because you survived an abortion. Tell us your story.
I am 41 years old. I survived a failed saline infusion abortion back in 1977 that was meant to poison and scald me to death from the outside in. I actually endured that procedure over a 5-day period. On the 5th day, my biological mother's labor was induced with the intent of me being expelled from the womb as a deceased child, and accidentally, I was born alive.
How did you find out this story?
I was actually 14, so I'm adopted. My parents were told, of course, about what I had survived and that the doctors had a poor prognosis for my future. And so they knew that when they adopted me, but, lovingly took me into their hearts and their home. But I was 14 when the truth came tumbling out through unplanned circumstances. And, I'm the first person to admit, Ainsley, it was absolutely devastating.
I'm sure. Well, you've spent your life's work now making sure that this doesn't happen to other babies. Democrats blocked the Republican bill. What was your reaction to that?
Yeah, I was there right outside Chambers last night when they voted. And, I was disappointed. I still am today, but I'm certainly not surprised. I think the Democrats who voted last night against this bill really showed us that they're willing to sacrifice lives like mine to keep abortion on demand right there.
I mean, this is unbelievable because this says when your child is born, in your case, it would be you being born, your mom and her doctors could have decided not to provide you medical care. That has to really hit hard.
Well, and the Democrats continue to say things, right, like this is unnecessary. I mean, I'm living proof that this is necessary. And I'm actually going to be meeting a nurse later today in Minnesota who was there in the neonatal intensive care unit when another nurse rushed me in. In her words, she said she just kept gasping for breath, and I couldn't just leave her there to die.
And tell us about your life since. You have your own children. You're a mom. Generations are affected.
They are. I have 2 little girls, 10 and 4, and I look upon their lives every single day and know that they never would have lived if that nurse that day wouldn't have been willing to rush me off to the NICU. Mm-hmm. No child should have their hands left in the hands of their abortionist or a medical professional to somehow decide to provide them medical care. We need this bill not only to ensure we're provided medical care, but that there's penalty when there's failure to do so.
Are you somewhat thankful for this conversation? I know many of us were appalled when we heard the governor of Virginia say what he said about a baby being born at the very end and making the decision not to allow that child to survive. And we were all, many of us were horrified, especially those of us who are mothers. But are you glad this conversation is out there so that we can have a dialogue?
Absolutely, yeah. It's really unfortunate that we're seeing this legislation sweep across the nation and the Democrats block this bill, but you're right, Ainsley, it's a great opportunity to have a really in-depth conversation about late-term abortion, about infants who survive abortions. And, this is just the beginning. That's what I was talking to the Republicans about last night outside Chambers, right? We're going to continue to have this conversation. We're going to continue to see bills like this introduced. And, I have great hope because we have great Republican legislators who are committed to life. The president is so committed to life. And really, our nation is full of people who identify as being pro-life and are wanting to do something about it.
Melissa, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.